Before we begin, thank you very much to Frosty Foster for becoming a patron over at patreon.com/TJOmega. The help is very appreciated and goes a long way to keeping this channel going and the content coming. Thank you very, very much. I have still like 10 more people in the thank you queue, by the way. Every time I think I'm caught up, more join, and I appreciate that very, very much. But I don't know if it's gonna take a while for some of you to get your thank yous, but you'll get them. Everyone will get them. All right. We got a brand new drop of reveals directly from Hasbro on their Instagram page. So we're here at the front page of TFW 2005 because that's just the easiest place for me to go for them. And yeah, let's talk some Studio Series Bumblebee releases. These are very different than what we've gotten out of Studio Series so far. It's all based on the Cybertronian portion of the Bumblebee movie. We've seen a little bit of that before. Now we're getting into like the really cool heavy stuff. So we're going to start off with what's brand new to the Studio Series, Core Class figures, and the artwork that we are going to be seeing for that particular packaging. It's an interesting shift. It does definitely still resemble of course, it resembles Studio Series packaging. So even though they're adding a size class and they're going to the Bumblebee movie, they're not shaking things up dramatically packaging-wise. I've actually had this discussion with Vangelis on the TFW 2005 podcast, which I am a host on. Go listen to it, by the way, if you haven't. But yeah, we've discussed in the past where it's kind of astonishing how long Studio Series has been going without actually changing the packaging. You think about the main line that what we consider the mainline Transformers, and they don't, they refresh the packaging every year. The trilogies all have sort of the same format. We're seeing a different shape and style of packaging for Legacy coming up. But for 3 years, it's mostly the same. And then the 3 years prior to that, the Prime War trilogy, that was also about the same. So I'm surprised that Studio Series has been around a long time now, and they've never had to go through a refresh. That will tell you just how well Studio Series sells, really. So going to Core Class, I think, is interesting because it opens up an avenue to put a lot of the past movie characters back on the toy shelf that have already gotten Deluxe, Voyager, etc. releases, and kind of give everyone another way of getting them at a more convenient desktop size. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes. Let's take a closer look at what we're getting. First off, we are getting Ravage, and he turns into a box. I think it's laughable that anyone that starts calling this a cassette, because it clearly is not a cassette in any way, shape, or form. But yeah, it will fit into the Voyager class Soundwave, which we're going to talk about at the end because, oh boy. But I like how he looks. I mean, it's movie Ravage. What do I expect? I do wish the ball joints were a little bit differently set so I could get some outward movement. It looks like it's just going to be backward and forward. Since I'm getting so little playability out of the figure itself, I really would like to see the articulation expanded a lot more, but it doesn't look like it's going to be, well, plenty of joints, yes, I can see, because that's basically how he transforms. He just kind of folds up into a ball. To be fair, he's not meant to be a standalone toy. He's just an accessory for Soundwave that's so big they sold it as a core class. I mean, take a look. I mean, he doesn't even fill half of the box. Like, he is in this series, he's in this size class just because they didn't have anywhere else to put him. And if they threw him in with Soundwave, he probably wouldn't even be painted, or he wouldn't have any good any articulation whatsoever. So take what we get and be happy with it. At the very least, as his own release, they could go all out with him. Now, we're taking a look at a proper core class figure here. A tiny little version of Shockwave. I can't remember the leak list, if it said we were going to get a Voyager class Bumblebee Shockwave or not. I can't imagine we won't. But this is the main figure they are starting off the core class with. And he doesn't look bad. He is very much prime Shockwave in the vehicle mode. Not a real surprise at core class. We do have to keep in mind that because these are Cybertronian modes, they don't really have to disguise themselves in any way. It's not a necessity in any way, shape, or form to look like a real tank or look like a car. So Shockwave as just a laser tank, I kind of jive with that. And and not only is it the H tank like Prime, you notice here where he's got the front of his chest forward, exactly like Prime Shockwave. Kind of like that. Pretty basic in the transformation, though. I'm curious how it all gets. Like, here's his chest, and here are his arms. That's a long little travel for such a small figure. I'm kind of curious about just how this guy folds up and make that work. All right, next up, we're going to get into some more of the talky ones. We're going into the deluxe class. Hey, we can actually talk about this figure without promoting a thief. So let's discuss. Wheeljack still looks really, really good. A lot of solid parts, a lot of really nice detail on him. I like that it is very much the traditional style of Wheeljack, even though you can see that Cybertronian style to him, the movieverse take on G1's design. There's a few things we notice in this one that people are starting to point out, and one of them is the fact that they're using screws in the construction again. This, like, you can see this, he's obviously, for his knee and his elbow, he's got pins, but they actually try to avoid screwing parts together for a long time. We see a little bit of divergence in that. Screws are coming back in the construction. I don't know if that's a cost-cutting thing or not, but it definitely means like more assembled parts and a little bit more solid construction, which I am a fan of. Still really, really like this vehicle mode. Super sleek, super cool. I don't need the big space hover van when I have such a nice Cybertronian vehicle here in front of me. Someone actually photoshopped this as Override from Cybertron or Nitro Convoy, and it works. Like, it works really, really well and looks really, really cool. Like, I kind of hope, like, because we have a rumor of that character coming back, I kind of hope it's somewhere in the realm of this figure. I really do, because I think it actually kind of work. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this figure. He looks a lot of fun. His transformation looks nice. The vehicle's super clean. I'm really going to be going after this one. Honestly, like, so far, all of this looks pretty good. Brawn is an interesting little oddball of a figure. He looks like, I don't know. I'm not a fan of how the face came out. The face is like a little bit too broken up and crumpled up. Like, that's the one thing about the movie designs is they even when they went to these much more smooth and solid shapes for the Bumblebee movie, a lot of the faces still look pretty broken up, and I'm not crazy about that. I kind of like what he's got going on. He's got this weird, like, Ram Man thing going on, or like a Sultaran from Doctor Who, if you will. Or he looks like something I'd put on the table if I was playing Warhammer. It's somewhere in that weird realm of design overall. I like him, though. I like him. I like how round he is. Like, that's not something you normally see out of a movieverse design. Normally, movieverse designs are usually indicative of very sharp, hard angles and very pointy bits. So Brawn kind of stands apart from that. I like his vehicle mode too. This like weird little space drill tank thing he's got going on. I'm kind of hoping that can fold away so he can just be like this weird little dome truck thing. But what's weird about him is, as I stare at him, I'm trying to figure out where all of his parts go. I'm trying to figure out exactly how this guy works and how he transforms. And what's interesting to me is that as I look at him, I don't see his wheels in robot mode. You know? Because I can see them here in the back. In the back, it looks like they should hang off like either the shoulders or the legs, and I don't see them. I look at the back of the legs, and I don't see them tucked in there at all. So it looks like the legs don't even play a part. Though the legs are up here. The legs are like the front of the vehicle somehow, and then these wheels there in the front, they have to fold into the back. I don't see them at all anywhere. yeah, like it's really interesting. Like he doesn't look that complicated, and the vehicle mode looks like it's not entirely like kind of cobbled together because it doesn't look like everything's like he doesn't look like a cohesive vehicle so much, but all the parts vanish in the robot mode, and I'm trying to figure it out. Like it's a bizarre little bit of magic, and super cool. We're gonna say that it's super cool. I really, really like this figure a lot more than I thought I would when I found out he was getting a release. So this one I'm really curious about to see in-hand pictures and see more of him all the way around. And then there's Ratchet, which I think seems to be like a universal approval on this Ratchet design. Really, really dig what they've got going on here. So for starters, I'm trying to figure out if the chest is just like identical on both sides or if this really is like the front of the vehicle, because that would be really cool. And I wonder that because it looks like these hinges are hard molded to the side of his chest, and of course they're not there in the vehicle mode. I mean, it looks like it's the front of the vehicle, but where these things came from, where these hinges come from, I have no idea. I'm not seeing like really any like connection point for them if they did. Like, see, I can kind of see like a little bit of nub there where possibly something could peg in. That doesn't seem like a whole lot to hold on to it, but who knows? But yeah, I really like how he looks. Very cool design. I really like this big box vehicle mode that just looks like all business. What I really, really liked and what I see here is I see the wheels on both sides of his legs, which means all of this back here folds up to become the legs and tucks the wheels away nicely on his legs. Very nice bit of transform. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that works when we get the full demonstration of him. I'm also, looking back and seeing how this toy transforms. I look at it more closely now. I can see the shoulders in the rear of the vehicle mode. So somehow these get all the way to the back of him. That's going to be interesting to see how that works. Again, like this seems like this whole section like fold over to get all of this over onto this part, but I don't see hinges for that. That I see hinges here I can't explain, and I see no hinges here and I can't explain that. This is an interesting toy. And like just from the look of it, it's hard to see behind him, but he looks super clean. Super. That's what I'm going to say about all these. Like, he looks super clean. I can see vehicle mode in him. He looks super clean. I love how nice and solid and clean these vehicles and robots are. And part of that is because they're Cybertronian. They can kind of get away with fudging things here and there to make it work. Like, I'm kind of curious. I kind of feel like the back end of Ratchet here is going to be a little bit more broken up, a few more gaps, especially from the top. But that's just speculation. For now, he looks so good. He looks really, really nice. And to finish it off, yeah, we got to talk about Soundwave. So this seems to be the butt of everyone's joke. Actually, I have seen so many Photoshops on Twitter already of everyone trying to make fun of the vehicle mode that they've given Soundwave this time. Now, for starters, focus on the robot mode. He looks exceptionally good. He looks spot on to how he looked in the movie. Wide hips, big wide hips and all. Yeah, all the colors look nice. Looks like he's got a good level of paint. We know Ratchet's going to fit inside of him, so that's already a given. You can see the button on his left shoulder. His G1 cannon up on the right side. I like how it's hinged. So it can angle upward and not always like hang over his chest, because that kind of gets in the way of poses. Like if I have a Soundwave toy and it like if I have a Soundwave toy and that cannon is always over his right arm, then I can't have a pose from this way because you can't see his face anymore. So really like that they're doing it this way. I really like that addition. Okay, vehicle mode. Now, this might shock some of you. This really might surprise you. I actually really like that vehicle. And I like it for a few reasons. It does remind me of a lot of the sci-fi hover ships that I have seen in various things. It reminds me of like something I'd see out of like Terminator. I really do like the overall shape of it. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people are making fun of it because it looks like a big nothing. It just looks like a flat sound wave. And yeah, it kind of does. I like the big claw things that are like, or his former kneecaps coming out to make it look like it's like a big pincer thing. I like the tucked away, like the implied cockpit that's tucked away inside. I like the flatness of it, where he has kind of like a flying saucer-esque element to him. Now it does get a little bit shaky up here, where I can clearly see torso and arms separated. So it's not like perfect or anything. Of course, it's not perfect, but I do think it's better than a lot of people are giving it credit for. And honestly, like, when I'm like, I'm hitting the point where I'm like, what does it take to make you happy when it comes to like a Cybertronian Soundwave? So they did this in Siege, where he's like a blockade runner, like a big brick of a spaceship. The kind of thing that you'd haul cargo in or something. Because he's Soundwave. He hauls things inside of him. And no. Everyone made fun of that. Nobody liked the vehicle mode. I kind of like the vehicle mode. And then this comes along. It's completely different. It's not big and blocky. It's thin. It's svelte. It looks like a nimble little spaceship. And everyone makes fun of it too. You know why I like this? Because it's similar to his cassette mode, or his tape recorder silhouette. It's similar to how he kind of forms. Because it's weird. We have a sound wave that forms into a box and it's not happy. No one's happy about it. You just like how expensive is Walmart's like Netflix Soundwave right now, because everyone wants a Soundwave that folds up into a box. Okay, so if that box looks like a spaceship, that's no good. That box looks like a tape recorder that no one has used since 1990 whatever. Oh no, that's perfect. So I like it because it is reminiscent of how his actual alternate mode looks. It feels like the kind of thing that he could feasibly turn into if he was a spaceship on Cybertron, because his superstructure is making the same kind of motions and collapsing the same way as he would if he was the tape recorder. So this vehicle mode makes absolute sense to me, and I like it. And my answer to everyone else at this point is, if you don't like how these Cybertronian sound waves are coming out, make your own. You do better. I'm literally at that point where, like, what does it take to make you happy? Because you know what it is? Because everyone would just go, like, make him like Cybertron. Make him like the Cybertron one. Just make him like a space jet. You know what? We would have? We would have another space jet. We'd have another jet. There's thousands of jets in Transformers over the almost 40 years of this franchise. And you're just going to make Soundwave, one of the most standout characters in the franchise, you're just going to make him another jet. No. We tried him as a tank in War for Cybertron, like as an armored truck in War for Cybertron, and that's fine. But we've been there already. We did it as an SUV or an armored truck in like Animated and RID, and in RID 15, I should say, and we did it again in Cyberverse. So we have like established Soundwave vehicle modes. It doesn't make sense for him to be that, because that's not what the Decepticons were in the movie. They're not going to turn into trucks. They're going to turn into things that can fly, because that's the whole theme. So, a flying Soundwave, I'm perfectly fine with them looking like this. Because I don't want him to just be another jet. At least, this is unique, I've never seen a Transformer that looked like this. I've never seen a hover ship for a Transformer alt mode. Outside of, maybe you consider Origin Bumblebee that. Still, I think I like this a lot more than a lot of people do. And I think a lot of people are not giving it enough credit or thought. They're just laughing at flat Soundwave. But you know what? Fine. I just did a whole video making fun of bad stock photos and what Transformers looked like when they were poorly transformed. So who am I to judge you for making fun of a photo, a stock photo? So I'm going to leave it at that. Those are my thoughts. I'm really looking forward to these. I think I like everything from this wave. And like that's actually kind of surprising to me because I've skipped so much of Studio Series. This I'll probably go a lot heavier on. It just looks like, honestly, G1 Designs with like what looks like a proper Cybertronian look that we were kind of hoping for out of Siege and never quite got. I feel like this hits a spot in me that Hasbro has spent 3 years teasing me with, and now Studio Series is delivering it, not Generations. So this, yes, even this, I am greatly looking forward to. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.